We live in a world in which people overestimate the rate of change. Will occur on a 2-year basis, and maybe we're underestimating how much change is going to occur on a 5-year basis. Second thing the world-class innovators do is they check their speed. If we live in a world in which the future belongs to those who are fast, we have to be prepared as manufacturers to reinvent ourselves on a regular basis, to challenge ourselves to invent revenue where revenue has not existed before. Do you know that Apple is in a situation where 60% of its revenue comes from products that did not exist 4 years ago? This is a blistering pace of innovation. And ask yourself now, the organization you work for, can you evolve into a situation in which you have so much agility, so much flexibility, so much capability to ingest new ideas, generate a new product, keep your product pipeline full of new ideas, that 60% of your revenue 4 years from now is going to come from products that do not exist as of today? World-class innovators realize we are in a period of time in which we are witnessing the absolute collapse of the product life cycle. Remember the concept of the product life cycle? I dug out my old marketing textbook from 1976. And it talked about how a product would come to market and it would begin to sell, it would eventually hit market maturity and the sales would decline. It was for a fridge. The product life cycle was for 25 years. We now live in the era of instant obsolescence, where products are almost obsolete by the time they hit market. You know, I dealt with one organization, they're in the lithium business. Lithium is an obvious component product in hybrid electric vehicles. Lithium is a component product in statin cholesterol lowering drugs. But I was talking to the CEO of this organization several years ago, and he saw an emerging opportunity in OLED technology, which is coming to replace our current generation of televisions. And he saw an opportunity emerging as lithium as a component product in this marketplace. And in his mind, they have a 4 to 6 year window to get into that industry, manufacture into that industry, capitalize on the opportunity before something else comes along and replaces this technology. His entire mindset as a CEO is, what do I need to do to become an organization that can generate chameleon revenue? How do we challenge ourselves to become an organization that can continually change our capabilities, our products, our skills, our process, to generate new revenue where revenue has not existed before? This is what world-class innovators are doing to challenge themselves to go forward into the future. World-class innovators are challenging themselves on process. It's fascinating being here in the Motor City. It's fascinating to think about the business models that auto manufacturers have in place. What we have in place is a mindset we're going to build to inventory. You know, I'm down from Toronto. I live about 3 miles away from the North American SUV plant for Ford, and think about the business model of what they do there. We'll pump out 700,000 vehicles. You know, we'll do a model change every year, we'll retool the line, we'll pump out 700,000 vehicles and put them out into inventory and hope that they sell it. The problem is, when you have an economic meltdown, you're left with a bunch of product in inventory. North of Toronto in Alliston, Ontario, they have built so much flexibility and agility in the assembly manufacturing process that they're almost at the point where they can sit back and go, well, what's selling this week? Cool, let's build that next week. They're not building to inventory, they are building to customer demand. I'm seeing world-class innovators challenge themselves on methodology. I'm seeing world-class innovators realize that in the future, opportunities are going to unfold which today is seen to be science fiction. You know, I was speaking at this manufacturing conference in Orlando a few weeks ago, and we were talking that in the not too distant future, we're probably going to have 3D printing of personalized knee replacements, which is going to transform the world of orthopedic manufacturing in ways that we cannot comprehend. World-class innovators realize that the biggest transformation occurring in every single industry is the speed of innovation is shifting from within that industry, and it's shifting to the speed of Silicon Valley. And this is perhaps manufacturing's biggest challenge. Think of what's going to unfold, the biggest trend which is underway right now. Every device which is a part of our daily lives is going to have an address on the internet. We're going to be aware of its status, and we're going to be aware of its location. was speaking at a healthcare conference a few weeks ago, and I said, this could get weird, this could get a little out of hand. One morning I'm going to get up, I'm going to get on my weigh scale, it's going to send an email to my fridge, don't let Jim in today. He's not living up to the terms of his insurance wellness contract. It's not a joke. At home I have my Rylands Wi-Fi body scale. I'm down 35, 40 pounds from my peak, very conscious about my fitness, my weight, pulling up my pants. And every morning I pad down to the home office naked, stand on my Wi-Fi scale, takes my weight, takes my BMI, takes my body fat mass, transmits that to a password-protected website via Wi-Fi, and builds me all these cool graphs and charts. And think about what has happened here. What used to be a little $29 product has become an intelligent, connected device that retails for $249 and sells in the Apple Store. Every device which is part of our daily life is becoming plugged in. And as this happens, the speed of change in an industry shifts from that industry to the speed of Silicon Valley. Think about what's happening in the world of insurance. You've seen what Progressive is doing with driver monitoring technologies, performance-oriented insurance. They stick a GPS device in your car, and it monitors your acceleration, G-force, whether you're stopping at all stop signs. If you show good driving behavior, you get a rebate on your insurance. Do you know what's really beginning to happen here? Insurance companies have lost control of the speed of innovation in their industry because the speed of innovation has shifted to technology companies, GPS companies, who tend to innovate a heck of a lot quicker than insurance companies do. Think of what's happening in the world of banking. Companies like MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover Financial Services, they all know the speed of change. As soon as our iPhones become credit cards, as soon as our Android devices become credit cards, they have lost control of the speed of change in their industry because it's shifting to companies like PayPal and Facebook and Google who innovate a heck of a lot quicker than they do. Think about what's happening in the world of HVAC. You think about what is happening with intelligent thermostats. Think what is happening as this world of connectivity explodes around us. You can actually buy a bottle of gin today in the UK, which comes with an LCD screen embedded in the bottle. And you're in the store and it starts running a little commercial for you to try to interest you in buying the product. They are talking the next generation. They're going to have an app for that so that you can send a video from your phone to the bottle. Can you imagine how creepy this is going to get in bars? But this is real. A world of connectivity has fascinating implications. The world of healthcare, medical devices, connected medical devices, which are transforming medicine, which are leading us to a world of virtual care, in which the concept of a hospital comes to an end, because the concept of a physical hospital is no longer defined by the structure of its building, but it is defined by the reach of the connectivity through the virtual healthcare devices, which are exploding in terms of development growth in the world of healthcare. Think about that orthopedic knee replacement, which we have 3D printed. And think about the fact that it's going to have a sensor embedded in it, which is going to notify the patient that it's malfunctioning and it's time for a replacement. Science fiction? Probably not. And think about what is happening in the auto industry. There was an article that appeared in the Wall Street Journal. How many people have a smart TV? Everybody has a smart TV, right? And the article was entitled, "Nobody uses their smart television because they're really dumb. We have all these TVs with YouTube and Facebook and all these apps built into it. And it's a clunky interface. It's difficult to comprehend. It's difficult to use." But think about what's happening in the auto industry today. The technology that we have in the dashboard today could have been prototyped in 2006, tested in 2008, put into production in 2010, rolled out in a 2012 model year, and rolled out across the fleet in 2014, and by 2016 it's going to look like it's from the olden days. Think of what's going to happen to the resale value of cars. When we've got kids who replace their cell phones every 18 months, and they look at the dashboard, and they look at the experience, and they look at how quickly technology is changing. Do you know what is happening here? Is control of the speed of innovation in the automotive sector is switching from Detroit to Silicon Valley. Those who own the dashboard own the future. Technology companies innovate faster. 60% of Apple's revenue comes from products that didn't exist 4 years ago. And what world-class innovators do is they challenge themselves to increase their innovation capability to deal with a world of accelerated change.